The topic that we're going to discuss for today's class is on human genetics. But before we proceed with the topic, we should first know what is genetics in general. Genetics is a study of heredity, which was first coined by William Bateson in 1905. It is a branch of science which deals with the study of process of inheritance. So the science of genetics deals with the heredity and variation. Etymologically, it is derived from the Greek word "gen", which means to generate or to grow or become something. Three botanists, Hugo Davis, Quarens, and von Zermatt, identified the basic principles of genetics in 1900 independently. This is a picture of a chromosome, which is hereditary material. Inheritance of characters or trait through generation in man was first observed around 1644. Then later in 18th century and 19th century, the inheritance of hemophilia, a bleeding disorder in which the affected individuals have continuous bleeding as their blood fails to clot when there is cut or injury, and color blindness in which the affected individuals cannot differentiate either red color or green colors. It was discovered. These two conditions showed high frequency of occurrence in males compared to the females, a typical feature of the X-linked inheritance. Understanding the principle of heredity was possible after the discovery of the cells in the stages of cell division and the formation of daughter cells. Sutton and Boveri in 1903, they have suggested that the hereditary factors, so to say genes, are located on the chromosomes and are transmitted along with the chromosomes to the daughter cell. So let's learn about what is chromosome. Chromosomes are thread-like structures found in the nucleus of human cell. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, one from each parent. Chromosomes carry the genetic material from one cell generation to the next. During cell division, chromosomes divide and ensure the distribution of genetic material to daughter cells. Function of chromosome includes the transfer of genetic information from one generation to another, protein synthesis, cellular replication, and gene regulation. Now let's see what is human genetics. Human genetics is one of the branches of genetics that deals with the human genetics variation, its source and transmission. Various methods are employed to study human genetical variation. Understanding human heredity is of crucial importance in the prediction, diagnosis, and treatment of the diseases that have a genetic component. Study of human genetics enables us to better understand ourselves. It highlights contribution of genetical diseases, develop medical practices to improve the health and to understand evolution, which is related with the human. Human genetics is divided into different subfields: cytogenetics, biochemical genetics, immunogenetics, pharmacogenetics, molecular genetics, somatic cells genetics, population genetics, genetics epidemiology, genomics, and clinical genetics. So the point here, to understand human genetics, we need to have certain knowledge about the cell structure, the cell division, Mendel's law of inheritance. We have a single gene inheritance for dominant and recessive traits. We have also to learn about multiple allelism, inheritance of AB or blood group, MN blood grouping, RH types, population genetics, Hardy-Weinberg law, mutation, selection, genetic drift. So human genetics has two aspects in approach. One is fundamental and applied. Under fundamental science, it studies the law of heredity, interaction between hereditary factors and environment, mechanism of evolution. Applied human genetics, with the progress that made in the subject, has revolutionized the understanding of several concepts linked to health science, treatment of disease conditions, understanding the basic principles of biology, reasons for ethnic variations, evolution of living forms, including man, among others, which is studied under applied human genetics. Almost every human disease has genetic basis, and treating or managing any genetic condition is becoming more specific based on the genetic constitution of an individual. Moving on to next slide. Why anthropology with human genetics? Here is physical anthropology studies a biocultural evolution. Evolution cannot be understood without the knowledge of hereditary transmission of trait. Genetic changes accumulated over generations results in evolutionary changes. Physical anthropologists are employed to explain the variation in humans, to understand the evolutionary forces on trait frequency in particular population. Molecular techniques deployed by genetics are used for understanding the hereditary transmission of disease and identifying gene for particular disease. Physical anthropologists take the uh, help of human genetics. Move to the next slide. Cytogenetics can be identified as one of the sub-branch of human genetics. It is a discipline that matches phenotype to detectable chromosomal abnormalities. In other words, abnormal changes occurring in the number, like numerical aberrations like monosomy, trisomy, triploidy, or structural aberration like chromosomal deletion, duplication, translocation, or inversions of chromosomes in an individual with the clinical features and symptoms. The preparation of human karyotyping for the first time in 1959 led to the identification of numerical aberrations, change in number of chromosomes in the following years associated with conditions like Down syndrome, trisomy 21, Klinefelter syndrome, monosomy like Turner syndrome, which implied the need for routine screening for chromosomal anomalies in certain clinical conditions. Now, within uh, human genetics, we have different subfields like biochemical genetics, we have immunogenetics, we have pharmacogenetics, we have molecular genetics, clinical genetics. Now, in summary, I just want to say that human genetics is a branch of science that deals with the inheritance of characters and diseases through generation from parents to the offspring. Genetics diseases may be caused by numerical or structural chromosomal abnormalities due to the mutations or variations in DNA. The dedicated work of scientists in the past led to the steady growth of the subject of human genetics. Rapid progress in the subject has opened several avenues for improving the quality of human health and thereby longevity. So here I conclude my classes for today. Thank you.